If you enjoy videos like this, subscribe to the channel before the video starts. The storm was fierce. Rain poured from the sky like rivers falling from a dark cloud. Lightning flashed, cutting through the night and showing the lonely highway in sharp, cold lines. Thunder rolled across the mountains, shaking the earth. In the middle of this chaos, a truck moved slowly, its tires splashing through the wet road. The driver, a man used to long nights on the road, gripped the steering wheel tightly. His eyes scanned the empty highway, but the storm made everything look strange, even dangerous. Suddenly, a sharp sound rang out, metal crashing into metal. The truck shook violently. The driver's heart jumped. He slammed on the brakes, the tires screeching against the wet asphalt. Rain sprayed everywhere, making it almost impossible to see. When he looked through the windshield, he saw a figure lying near the side of the road. A woman. She was soaked, her clothes torn, and she looked unconscious. But there was something about her, something not quite human. Her hair glowed slightly in the lightning, and her body seemed almost fragile, but strong at the same time. Without thinking, he jumped out of the truck, the rain soaking him instantly. He ran toward her, lifted her carefully, and carried her back to the cabin. Every step was heavy, the storm trying to push him back. He laid her gently on the passenger seat. Her chest rose and fell slowly, she was alive, but barely. He tried to speak to her. "Are you okay? Can you hear me?" But she didn't answer. Her eyes were closed, and she made soft, strange sounds that didn't make any sense. He frowned. Something about her voice felt alien. Lightning flashed again, and this time, he saw it clearly. Her eyes were slightly open, reflecting the storm's light like tiny stars. He stepped back, surprised and a little afraid. Who was she? Where did she come from? And why did it feel like she didn't belong on this earth? The storm grew worse. Wind howled around the truck, and the rain hit like small stones. The driver started the engine, but the thought of leaving her outside in this storm made him shake his head. He had no choice but to wait. The cabin was small and cramped, but it was safe from the rain. Slowly, the woman opened her eyes. They glowed faintly green in the dim light of the dashboard. She sat up suddenly, looking around with fear and confusion. The driver tried to calm her. "It's okay. You're safe now." But she didn't respond. Instead, she looked out the windshield, staring at the storm. Then, a sudden gust of wind blew the truck door open, and the woman's eyes glowed brighter. She whispered something in a language he could not understand. The sound was soft, but it carried a strange power, almost like the storm itself had spoken through her. The driver froze. He didn't know what to do. He had never seen anything like this. And in that moment, as the lightning struck again, he realized something terrifying. She was not just a stranger. She was something more. Something from somewhere else. And the storm was only the beginning. The rain had not stopped. The storm outside felt endless, like the world itself was trapped in chaos. Inside the truck, the driver could barely think. The woman sat silently beside him, her wet hair clinging to her face, her glowing green eyes flicking nervously to every shadow. Something about her felt alive, almost electric, as if she carried a storm inside her. He tried to speak, but words failed him. "Who are you?" he asked. She tilted her head, studying him. Then, without warning, she raised her hand and touched the dashboard. The screen flickered, not with normal truck displays, but with strange images, glowing symbols that twisted and shifted too fast to read. The driver's heart skipped a beat. Machines had never behaved like this. His phone buzzed, then went dead. The GPS spun wildly, and the radio screeched with static. "What are you doing?" he asked, panic rising. But she didn't answer. She only looked at him with eyes that seemed to see more than the storm outside. Lightning lit the cabin, and for a brief second, he swore he saw a shimmer around her, like she was not fully part of this world. His mind raced. "Is she an alien?" he whispered to himself. The words sounded crazy, even in the roar of the storm, but he couldn't think of any other explanation. The wind outside slammed the truck door, rattling the windows. He tightened his grip on the steering wheel, trying to steady the shaking truck. She suddenly pointed outside, to where the rain fell hardest. He followed her gesture and saw a faint shape, almost invisible in the storm. A glowing outline hovered above the road, moving quickly, like a shadow of a giant ship. "What is that?" he asked, voice barely audible over the storm. She didn't answer with words, only stared, eyes wide and fearful. Then she grabbed his arm and pressed her forehead against his shoulder. Her voice, soft but strange, whispered a single word he didn't understand. And in that moment, he felt a shock run through his body, not painful, but strange. The truck hit a patch of water, spinning slightly, and he slammed the brakes. The storm seemed to react, rain hammering harder, wind screaming louder. He glanced at her. She was trembling, but her eyes glowed brighter now. She seemed to understand the danger coming, something he couldn't even see yet. For the first time, fear wasn't just his. It was theirs. Together. He realized she was not just lost, she was being hunted. And whatever followed her through the storm, was close. The truck shuddered as lightning split the sky again, and he knew they couldn't stay here long. Somehow, they had to find shelter. But somewhere in the storm, something waited, watching. And the woman beside him held the key to surviving it. And yet, even as the storm raged, one question burned in his mind: who is she really? The storm had finally reached its peak. The wind tore at the truck like invisible claws, and the rain hit the metal roof in relentless sheets. Inside, the driver's hands shook on the wheel. The woman beside him no longer seemed afraid, her glowing green eyes were fixed on the sky, watching something far beyond the storm. "Who are you?" he asked, voice trembling. For the first time, she spoke, her words slow, deliberate, and broken, as if English was foreign to her. "I am not from here," she said. Her voice was soft, almost musical, yet it carried a weight that made his heart pound. "I come from far, from beyond your sky." The words hung in the air. He stared at her, unable to blink. "Beyond the sky?" he whispered. Lightning flashed, revealing the outline of something enormous hovering in the clouds above. It was not a cloud, not a storm, it was a ship, unlike anything he had ever seen. Its surface shimmered like liquid metal, reflecting the lightning in strange patterns. The woman reached out her hand and touched the dashboard. The screen flickered with glowing symbols, more complex and faster than before. Images flashed: planets, stars, strange creatures, and scenes of her running from something enormous, something terrifying. She turned to him. "They are coming," she whispered. Fear flashed in her eyes. But there was also hope. "You help me survive." Suddenly, a deafening roar filled the sky. The storm itself seemed to react, but it was not natural, something massive moved above them. The truck shook violently as if the earth itself trembled. The driver's pulse raced. What is that?" he shouted. She pressed her hand to his chest, glowing light radiating from her fingertips. The truck stabilized. The storm outside shifted, bending around them in a way that made the impossible seem real. "Control, energy," she said simply. Her hands moved, directing pulses of light into the dashboard. The truck's engine roared, faster and stronger than ever. They drove through the storm, lightning striking dangerously close. Every second was life or death. And yet, amidst the chaos, he began to trust her completely. Her presence was strange, alien, but comforting, a guide in the impossible storm. Finally, they reached shelter, an abandoned cabin, battered but standing. The rain slowed outside, though the sky remained dark and full of warning. She stepped out of the truck, her glowing eyes scanning the horizon. She turned to him and whispered, "You saved me. But they will follow, soon." He watched her, confused and awed. Her alien glow dimmed slightly as she looked at him. "Thank you," she said. The words were simple, but the meaning was immense. She was no ordinary being. She carried worlds in her eyes, stories beyond imagination, and a future that was uncertain and dangerous. As the camera or the viewer lingered, lightning flickered behind her. She stared at the dark sky, silent, powerful, and vulnerable all at once. And the driver realized something terrifying and thrilling: this encounter was only the beginning. The storm, the pursuit, the mysteries of her world, it had only just begun. Text teaser appears on screen: the chase is coming. Are you ready?